want to thank Barbara for your most generous introduction of me tonight. I'm thankful that you did not report any more detail regarding those roommates. Your presence together with your daughter Angela, along with my family and your friends from far and near, makes this an occasion, Barbara, that I will always cherish. And so I'm thankful to be here among you tonight, and thankful that you could join us. I am especially blessed tonight to have my wife Joyce Marie present. And even though not known before I tell you this tonight, I don't like to pull tricks, but serving as timekeeper, she is also here on these remarks, since I have received many warnings regarding going over the time. So she has agreed to be timekeeper because she has learned perhaps the hard way that you don't offer a United Methodist preacher, especially if retired, a chance to speak to a captive audience and expect that 3 to 4 minutes will be enough. I have to correct that because it's actually 2 to 3 in any regard. Joyce, I just want to say that's not correct. By the way, honey, these are preliminary remarks. So don't start your stopwatch yet. I am blessed that my daughter Emily Kathleen has left her duties of wife, mom of 2, both under age 3, and work outside the home in West Orange, New Jersey. I'm blessed that my stepson, Ross Larson, who has encountered serious challenges in his life in the last 2 weeks, but nonetheless has journeyed from Madison, Wisconsin to be here tonight. And my dear friend and colleague and former staff member, Dr. Hendrik Petersy, professor of global Christianity and world religions at Garrett Evangelical Theological Seminary in Evanston, Illinois. I thank you all. And I am richly blessed that family members who reside in Minnesota and Wisconsin, no snow tonight, they had some up in Fargo, have joined to journey to this place to be with me and the rest of family. Please know that I am very thankful. My brother Jacob, I don't call him my little brother anymore for fear of the consequences. And his wife Pamela, my sister-in-law, Shar Peterson-Sinsky, Auguste, my brother-in-law Dean Peterson, Auguste, Marianne Peterson, and Nancy Hansen. All of you, I am so grateful that you're here to surround me tonight on what I've been terming to those who know me best as the next to the last hurrah. Now, in my remaining time, now you can start, Joyce. In my remaining time, I want first to express my deep and sincere appreciation to President Bergman and the Gustavus Alumni Association and its selection committee for naming me a distinguished alum of this stellar institution. With no intention of feigning false humility, let me say as bluntly as I know how that I know there is no dearth of worthy individuals who could have been selected to receive this award. That I have been selected is truly an honor and a blessing. For one of several defining times in my life, following the graduation from this college, I can say with reasonable certainty in being selected to receive this award that, as I did in 1978, I'm not just any old sailor swabbing the deck. Not everybody gets to be recognized as distinguished. And so for the time that it is going to be in everybody's memory, I will relish it, especially on the other side of 60, 70, whatever. Now, for 50 years I have said proudly that I am Auguste. And I have done so primarily with an Eastern establishment. And you can't get more East and more establishment than Boston. an establishment that still, even if ever so subtly, believes that any life west of Buffalo, New York, is still frontier life. Such chauvinism notwithstanding, I can say with confidence that at no time since my graduation from Gustavus that I have ever felt the need, in my mother's words, to ask any kings or queens to call me cousin. This is confidence born not of a false hubris or a need to overcompensate for character and intellectual deficiencies that should have been discovered here but were not. Indeed, to be critically assessed by the likes of Gerhard T. Alexis, Elmer Suderman, Rodney Davis, Kyle Monte, Marilyn Anderson, John Weefall, Jack Clark, Edgar Carlson, and if time permitted, and it doesn't, I would go on. No, this confidence, my confidence in choosing and pursuing a life of service as a servant of the servants of God, as a scholar priest, as a Christian theologian teacher, committed to pursuing truth in the public square, is rooted in, first and foremost, my family of origin. I am the son of a preacher man, and I am thankful for that. A former Roman Catholic converted to Methodism, marrying a General Baptist from Perry, Georgia. You haven't heard anything until you heard some of the discussions around the table about theology. And secondly, I believe that my confidence is rooted in my faith in a crucified and yet risen Christ. And to have accomplished this in my 43 and a half years of service lead to a life of being able to think in categories and subjects. Yes, these are not easy times in which we live. And I am, for the most part, want tonight to just simply be cursory about it and not encumber this time that we have with it, but I want to say a couple of things. A liberal arts education at Gustavus meant, and I am confident still means, entering the fray of competing ideas and viewpoints with the necessary tools to struggle, in the words of a seminary professor whom I revere and remember fondly, in the words of that professor, to keep your categories clean or as clean as possible. For in such struggle there is far less opportunity to dabble in the nonsense of our society's current penchant for anti-rationalism and anti-intellectualism. As they used to say in an old 9X commercial, the church does not escape that either. If it's out there, it's in here. Nonsense that claims alternative facts, and that there is reason to assert that the truth is not the truth. These are turbulent times. My liberal arts education was and is and remains the gift that keeps on giving. For in this place, this community of teachers and students and learners, this place of scholars and would-be scholars, I also learned to do something that is in very sore and lacking supply these days, and that is simply, and not so simply, to write. After much trial and error, and with the sometimes unforgiving red pencil of one professor after another, I made the often elusive connection between thought and word, a connection I fear is in danger of being abandoned by the brutish minds hearts, and spirits that seem to have overtaken our quest for civility in this society. Again, as Zareed Vakaria of CNN observes, thinking and writing are inextricably intertwined. The columnist Walter Lippmann, when asked his thoughts on a particular topic, is said to have replied, "I don't know what I think on that one. I haven't written about it yet." Thinking and writing. As I said, the gifts that keep on giving. And Gustavus gave them in ways so compelling and enduring that I can't help but tell you about it even 50 years later. It was not a feel-good experience, but it was an experience that made it possible to engage in rational discourse with oneself as one endeavored to influence and inform others regarding what was critical about the living of our days. So I will close by thanking my alma mater, Gustavus Adolphus College, a liberal arts college, a church-related institution of higher learning, learning about ways of knowing and judging, learning with head and heart, learning for service to others and not self-aggrandizement. Thank you, Gustavus, for accepting me as a student in 1964. Thank you for cradling me. Yes, the son of the son of the son of a former slave in this country, for sharing the journey with me of mutual discovery of truth that unites rather than divides, truth that says, the poet James Russell Lowell makes ancient good uncouth, truth that makes it possible for the light never to be overcome by the darkness. Thank you, Gustavus, for being humble yet daring in your efforts in the midst of a time in our national life when, as William Butler Yeats feared, things fall apart. Thank you that you claim and advance a vision of the world and our nation that radically includes and does not wantonly exclude any of God's children. I sincerely thank you for this honor.
Thank you, Reverend. Your words were